Are you ready for the truth? Bring it on!
In this present crisis, government is not the solution to our problem. Government is the problem.
Do you want the whole truth?
I don't think you're ready.
Governments don't control things. A government can't control the economy without controlling people.
It's Crane Durham's Nothing But Truth. Here comes truth.
Well, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are. We're glad you're here, right here on the AFR Talk Network. Happy Thursday. You know what that means. Bottom of the hour, Pastor Aaron Free will be with us. Afternoons with Aaron. We have a prayer at the end of his 2 segments. That's 2 times. That's right. Pastor Aaron Free. We do a prayer for those to come to Christ, those that you are praying for. You can sign up for that one. Boom, on the Facebook page, American Family Radio, Crane Durham's Nothing But Truth. And even if it's you, if you're struggling, because, hey, as a disciple in progress, I put my own name down at times in private prayers. Yeah, definitely. And I love when my wife prays for me. Oh, it's just awesome. But I digress. Pastor Aaron Free will be with us. There's an interview from a Muslim author, with a Muslim author of a book about Jesus Christ. And it's getting all sorts of play. Lauren Green, the religious correspondent for Fox News, administered the interview, and she questioned the author. That didn't go down well. But the author, the rest of the story is, the author didn't tell the whole truth about himself, as well as his work has some things in there that are being proven to be not true. So, Pastor Aaron Free will be with us. We'll also be talking about the Pope, and people are calling his statements regarding homosexuals as the first step in a long journey regarding a change within the church and homosexuality. So, Pastor Aaron Free will be with us, bottom of the hour. Right now, I want to go to what we've been hitting a fair amount, and that is IRS scandal and Benghazi. Jay Carney was asked by a CBS News reporter yesterday in the press briefing about President Obama referring to these scandals as distractions, phony scandals, and desiring some sort of clarification. He was asked, what scandals are you talking about, Jay Carney? Roll it.
I think we all remember a few weeks ago when Washington was consumed with a variety of issues that, while in some cases significant, there was an effort underway to turn them into partisan scandals. I don't think anybody here would doubt that. And what we've seen as time has passed and more facts have become known, whether it's about the attacks in Benghazi and the talking points, or revelations about conduct at the IRS, that attempts to turn this into a scandal have failed. And when it comes to the IRS, as I said the other morning, the president made very clear that he wants the new leadership there to take action to correct improper conduct, and that is happening, and he expects results.
The White House press secretary continued to, in essence, rewrite history. Roll it.
What some in Congress have failed to do, despite many attempts, is to provide any evidence, because there is none, that activity was in any way known by or directed by the White House, or was even partisan or political. As testimony has shown that I've seen produced publicly in the press, although not by the Republican chairman of the committee, self-identified Republicans who participated in the reviews of these applications for tax-exempt status clearly denied that there was any, at least, and this is just them saying this, that there was any partisan or political motivation to what they were doing. That doesn't excuse the conduct, doesn't say that it's the right thing to do. It means that we have to address poor performance as poor performance and reject efforts to turn it into yet another partisan political football.
Okay, let's just hit the IRS scandal. Great article today in the Investors Business Daily. And just one of the things that they're highlighting regarding the IRS scandal and the developments. The House Ways and Means Committee analysis found conservative groups were asked 3 times as many questions by the IRS and had longer delays than left-wing groups seeking tax-exempt status. Just one of the ways they tried to get out of this was to say they did it to both groups. Then we saw it was like 286 to 19. So we had 286 groups versus 19 groups. And then we got even further into that targeting, and we saw, oh, well, they weren't even facing what the 286 groups faced. We also have an incredible revelation regarding a meeting that took place between White House Chief Counsel William Wilkins, and I'll get to that, but I want Jay Carney to finish up this line of questioning because he says, okay, the IRS scandal, I get it. IRS scandal, no, not really. So you're just speaking to the IRS scandal. What about the others? What are the phony scandals specifically? Roll it.
I think, our views, and I would wax poetic on it if you want, our views on the Benghazi issue are well known, and I think that other issues fall into that.
Well,
I'm not going to catalog.
IRS and Benghazi.
Again, I think there was a period where there was a lot more energy and focus was paid by some in Congress as well as in the media on issues that, while important, are not of the highest priority to the American people, and they were not scandals.
They were not scandals. Trey Gowdy, wonderful response to this kind of campaign of denial, interviewed on Greta Van Susteren program. Roll it.
There is nothing phony about 4 murdered Americans in Benghazi. And if he thinks there is, I'd encourage him to look at the autopsy photos. There's nothing phony about Brian Terry's murder at the border. There's nothing phony about IRS targeting people based on ideology. There's nothing phony about an NSA program that almost failed on the House floor because people don't trust this administration. There's nothing phony about bonuses being paid to IRS employees. So whether you want to go fast and furious, Benghazi, IRS, NSA, Obamacare with Enroll America, people have begun to lose trust in the institutions of government, and if they want to use the word phony for that, they need to get out of Washington more and go to real America. There have been 6 iterations of a defense in the IRS case, but remember, Lois Lerner disclosed this at an ABA conference with a planted question. That's how we learned about it.
That was a trick.
Right. Then we went into it was 2 rogue agents, and Jay Carney himself repeated that false narrative, and others in the administration have. And then it went to, well, it was the progressive groups that were targeted too, not just conservative groups. So as long as we treat 2 different sets of people improperly, at least it's not discrimination.
What really is absolutely amazing here is they continue with the line of defense that this is phony and expect, because the mainstream media is not following up like they should, that it will go away. And understand, there's also this idea, oh, they're brilliant. They nobody can touch them. They always say that about corrupt administrations. Oh, how do they do it? It's easy when you have the press carrying your water. When you have the press actually doing their job, following up time and time again, as they should do in press conferences until they get an answer of, well, let's just go through it. Chairman Issa said on Tuesday that the acting IRS commissioner, Danny Werfel, was systematically attempting to delay, quote, to delay, frustrate, impede, and obstruct. And when we have that kind of allegation, and we have the fact that Carter Hall reveals that William Wilkins, after meeting with the White House, and the White House chief counsel, William Wilkins, by the way, goes to the White House. Then the acting chairman of the IRS, the commissioner, would be Douglas Schulman the next day. And the next day, there are specific instructions, this was in April of 2012, on how to review the requests from Tea Party and other conservative groups, and that they would be sent to the D.C. office. Do you follow me here? This is all coming out. Lois Lerner took the fifth. Benghazi, changing of talking points. Never really explained. President Obama putting someone out there to lie 5 times. The person who did that, Susan Rice, well, she got a promotion, which is a big middle number one to America and to the fallen. 60 Minutes covered up a direct answer that President Obama gave to not calling it an act of terrorism that would have hurt him certainly in the polls before the election. So you tell me if this is a scandal or not a scandal. I think it absolutely is a scandal, and I refer to the IRS, Benghazi, and the DOJ investigating the likes of James Rosen, where now we have learned that the committee investigating that has ruled and said, yeah, Holder was deceptive. I'll get to that in a little while. Right now, we're going to go to break and come back with what I see as an unbelievable campaign that some folks are being, I don't want to say tricked into, because we covered it. We covered the, quote, rift within the Republican Party, but we're really missing the big picture here. And Joe Scarborough takes Ted Cruz to the woodshed, but does he do it with bad information? In essence, a false premise. Find out. Crane Durham's Nothing But Truth proudly on. Say it with me. AFR Talk.